You're lying in bed right now, and I'm about to tell you something that happens to your brain every single night that might terrify you. Something so fundamental that it's been happening to humans for hundreds of thousands of years, and you probably never even noticed it was there. Your brain is actively choosing to forget, not just random memories, not just fuzzy details, but entire conversations you had today, the names of people you just met, the route you took to work. Your brain is literally erasing them, and the worst part? It's doing this on purpose. So why would evolution design your brain to be a forgetting machine when you sleep? Why didn't we evolve to remember everything? Let me walk you through what's actually happening inside your skull right now. During the day, your brain is like a sponge. It absorbs everything. You see something, you hear something, you taste something, and all of that gets encoded into your neurons. These are pathways that form when neurons fire together, and these pathways are supposed to be permanent, right? That's the whole point of memory. Except there's a problem with this system that evolution discovered pretty quickly. Your brain would explode, not literally, but functionally. If you remembered everything equally, if every single thing you encountered had the exact same weight and importance in your brain, you couldn't function. You'd be like those people you've probably heard about who remember every single day of their life in perfect detail. And you know what? They're usually miserable. They can't forget bad experiences. They can't let go of embarrassments. Their brains are so full of useless information that they can't find the important stuff when they need it. This is where sleep comes in, and this is where it gets dark. Sleep isn't rest. Sleep is actually your brain's cleanup crew coming in and deciding what stays and what goes. But here's the thing that neuroscientists didn't fully understand until pretty recently. Your brain isn't just deleting bad memories or useless information, it's actively rewriting your entire experience of the day. When you sleep, your brain goes through something called consolidation. During this process, your memory cells are actually releasing a chemical called norepinephrine. This chemical is basically the glue that holds memories together. When you're awake, this chemical floods your brain. It's everywhere. It's what lets you form memories in the first place. But when you sleep, your brain stops producing it. And without this chemical, the weaker memories, the ones that don't matter, just fall apart. They dissolve. They're gone. But that's still not the whole story, because your brain is also doing something else during sleep that might be even more important. It's deciding which memories are worth keeping forever. Your brain has a structure called the hippocampus, which is basically your brain's filing system. During the day, the hippocampus is frantically recording everything that happens to you. It's like someone writing notes on sticky notes and throwing them everywhere. But at night, while you sleep, your brain is taking those sticky notes and deciding which ones get filed into your long-term memory storage in the cortex and which ones get thrown in the trash. The memories that get kept are the ones that matter, the ones that have emotion attached to them, the ones that connect to things you already know, the ones that might be useful in the future. Everything else? Gone, erased, like it never happened. And here's the evolutionary reason why this system evolved. It saved your ancestors' lives. Think about an ancient human walking through the forest thousands of years ago. That human sees a lot of things during the day. They see leaves rustling in a specific way. They hear a bird call at a certain pitch. They smell dirt from a particular location. Most of this stuff doesn't matter. If your ancestor remembered every single leaf rustle, every bird call, every smell, they'd go insane trying to interpret all of that noise every time they went into the forest. But one of those days, your ancestor hears a particular sound, and seconds later, a tiger attacks them. That sound becomes critically important. That memory gets encoded in a special way. It gets flooded with emotion and stress hormones. It gets consolidated into long-term memory overnight. And the next time your ancestor hears that sound, they can run away before the tiger shows up. This is literally what saves species from extinction, the ability to remember what kills you and forget what doesn't. But your modern brain is doing the same thing it did thousands of years ago, and that's where we have a problem. Your brain is forgetting things at night that you actually need to remember. that study you read for your exam. Your brain is deciding it's not emotional enough, not connected enough to existing knowledge, so maybe it gets weaker. That person's name you just learned, it goes into the discard pile because it doesn't feel important to your survival. Your brain literally cannot tell the difference between this doesn't matter because it won't help me survive and this doesn't matter because I don't care about it. Your brain only understands one language, survival. This is why you forget things even when you try to remember them. This is why you can't recall things you studied the night before. This is why your brain is basically sabotaging your modern life. But here's what's even more fascinating, and this is where it gets into the real darkness. Your brain is also forgetting things on purpose to protect you. There are memories that your brain actively protects you from fully remembering. When something traumatic happens to you, your brain doesn't just randomly forget it, it actually uses a specific mechanism to suppress the memory. It's called active forgetting, and it's controlled by a gene called the calcium calmodulin dependent protein kinase 2, or CAMKII. This gene literally prevents your brain from consolidating traumatic memories in the same way it consolidates normal memories. In small doses, this is good. You don't want to re-traumatize yourself every time you remember something bad, but in large doses, this mechanism can break. And when it breaks, you get conditions like PTSD, where your brain fails to properly forget the traumatic memory and instead keeps reactivating it over and over again. So you're caught between two terrible options. Your brain can either forget things you need to remember, or it can fail to forget things that are destroying you. The reason your brain is doing this is because it evolved to prioritize survival and emotion over utility and logic. Your brain cares whether you're going to die. It does not care whether you pass your exam. It does not care whether you remember your coworker's name. It only cares about the big, emotional, dangerous stuff. This is why sleep is so critical to learning. It's not because sleep makes your memories stronger, although that's part of it. It's because sleep is the only time your brain can decide what's important and what's not. When you sleep, you're not just resting, you're actively pruning your memories, deciding your priorities, and rewriting your own consciousness. And the more you sleep, the more selective your brain can be about what it keeps. This is why people who don't sleep well have terrible memories. This is why students who pull all-nighters to study do worse on exams than students who study less and sleep more. It's not because sleep helps you remember the stuff you studied. It's because sleep helps your brain decide that the stuff you studied is actually important enough to keep in the first place. But here's the thing that really messes with people when they learn this. You're not actually the same person when you wake up as you were when you fell asleep. Your brain has rewritten parts of your personality, your preferences, your sense of self, just by sleeping. You've forgotten things that shaped who you are, and those forgotten things are gone forever. You will never know what you forgot because you forgot it. The person you were yesterday is partially erased every single night. Memories are being selectively deleted. Priorities are being reshuffled. Connections between ideas are being strengthened and weakened. You're being rewritten while you sleep. And the worst part, the best part, you have almost no control over it. You can't tell your brain what to remember and what to forget. You can't protect a memory from being pruned just by wanting it hard enough. Your brain makes that decision based on emotion, stress, repetition, and relevance to survival. If you want your brain to remember something, you have to convince your brain that it matters. This is why techniques like spaced repetition work for studying. Every time you review something, you're telling your brain that this thing matters. You're recreating the emotional context, you're strengthening the connections, you're making it harder for your brain to decide to delete it. And eventually, after enough repetitions, your brain gives up and just keeps it. But you can also use this system against yourself. If you want to forget something, the worst thing you can do is sleep right after it happens. Your brain is going to go through consolidation, and if the memory isn't emotional enough, isn't repeated enough, isn't connected enough to what you know, it's going to fade. This is actually how therapy works for people with anxiety and trauma. By repeatedly exposing people to the thing they're afraid of in a safe way, you're creating new emotional context. You're telling the brain that this thing isn't actually a survival threat. And over time, through sleep and consolidation, the brain creates a new memory of this thing that's less scary than the original. So your brain forgets everything at night because it has to, because a brain that remembers everything is a broken brain, because evolution decided that survival is more important than completeness, because your conscious mind is not actually in control of what you remember and what you forget. You're a walking, talking piece of rewritten history. Every night you're being edited. Every morning you wake up as a slightly different person than you were the night before, and you'll never know what was changed. The question isn't why your brain forgets everything at night. The question is why you ever thought it wasn't supposed to.